The following is a paid program. The views expressed are not necessarily those of the management or ownership of KSTP-AM 1500 ESPN.
This is the place to talk about everything related to the home. Buying or selling real estate, financing and improvements that can help increase your home's value. This is Minnesota Home Talk on Score North. Here's your host, Jason Walgrave.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back. This is Minnesota Home Talk, and we are live on 1500 ESPN, the original real estate show. Of course, we're live every Saturday morning on demand at minnesotahometalk.com. Folks, be sure to check out our website, minnesotahometalk.com. I am your host, Jason Walgrave with Walgrave Real Estate Group and the Minnesota Real Estate Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Also in studio, Mortgage Michael Overson with Luminate Home Loans. See how I changed it up a little bit?
Yeah, I like that.
And then we've got Insurance Evan with Paragon. I still haven't come up with a more creative and exciting tagline name for you.
You are under no obligation to do so.
I know, but I'm going to do it for you.
All right. Maybe. Is this thing on?
No.
It would help if you. I turned it on.
There we go. Buttons.
Try now.
Is it on
Yeah.
now? There it is.
That's how we work it.
The blue light was on over here. I think it was the lifter gifter over there. It was
The board bender.
It was lower than it should have been.
The blinker
Yeah.
fluid was low.
that's what it was.
Gotta watch out for
that. What was I going to say? What were we talking about?
Something about I need to be more creative with Evan's name.
Oh yeah, maybe
Yeah.
we can bring in property and casualty into it or something.
Yeah, super exciting.
Something Evan.
Oh yeah, something like Exploding Evan or something, or
Yeah. Don't be a casualty.
need
Something.
need a new roof, Evan.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Please,
yeah,
no.
we'll go with that for now.
No.
Until we come up with something better, need a new roof, Evan.
No, I don't think that's it, guys. That's
Roof,
not the
roof
one.
claim, Evan.
Roof claim, Evan. Flooded basement, is it covered, Evan?
Yep.
Yeah.
16-year-old got in a car accident. Need help, Evan.
All right, folks, we got a big show planned this morning. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to go over the most recent market updates, the statistics for Twin Cities real estate. We have 6 ways to take back your time during the holiday season. Holiday season is upon us. Excited for Thanksgiving next week. It certainly is winter now in the great state of Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's cold. It's all right.
You know what?
Embrace it, folks.
Hey, last year, it was a late start to the old ice fishing season. This year, can we get out there on the ice? Not with ice houses, but can we actually get out there
Yeah.
by December 1st? Is it going to be cold enough we can get 3 inches of ice out along the edges and actually
You
get
got
out there and drop
12
away?
days. Maybe. Depends on the lake, I suppose. You got
I think you might be able to.
when do you think your lake is going to have its first freeze?
Well, we always can go ice fishing when there's still open water
Okay.
in the middle. So we'll get like 4 inches of pretty good ice around the edges
Yeah.
for the most of the lake, and then in the middle, there's always one spot in the middle that always freezes last.
Yeah.
But we always have guys that are out there with open water in the middle ice fishing. So
That's exciting. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're going to do it, let's do it.
I mean, all you gotta do is wear a life vest. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Wear a life jacket.
Yeah, you fall
Helps keep
in.
you warm. If you fall in, you'll float.
I know you have as well. We have definitely fallen through the ice on the Rock River back in the day. So whether we were carp spearing, you just spear carp.
Yep.
A lot of fun.
Yep.
And then you kind of get too close to the rapids and fall through. Kind of exciting.
Yeah.
And in the spring, the ice would melt and you jump on floating icebergs going down the river. I was down there one time with my buddy Scott, and we were jumping from ice thing to ice thing. And I jumped onto what I thought was an ice thing, but it wasn't. It was just snow or slush.
Yeah.
So I went right in and out, shot out like a rocket. Man, that was cold.
Evan, did you used to do that type of stuff for fun back in the day?
No, not really.
Everyone's listening like, geez,
Who
where
are
did
these
these guys grow up?
We're- the great city of Laverne, folks.
Yeah, see, I grew up in the Twin Cities, so all I did is throw sticks at cars.
That's what city kids did.
Yeah.
You know, throw
Cause
stuff at
trouble.
cars, caused city kids.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're giving away 4 pair of tickets to Timberwolves game this morning. Best real estate question. You can text those questions to our text line, which is 612-234-7585. Anything and everything real estate related. Send us over questions about buying, selling, investing, financing, credit scores, home improvement. Do you have questions on the rates, on the market, on how to become a first-time home buyer? First-time home buyers still make up nearly 40% of the real estate market, and there's tremendous opportunity out there, especially when the rent rates are at an all-time high, the rental vacancy rates are at an all-time low. There's just far less options when you're talking about rentals. So anything to do with real estate, give us a call. The text line, or send us a text message rather. The 2 best text questions this morning are going to win Timberwolves tickets. We have 2 pair to give away. Text line is 612-234-7585. That is the text line. Text us your real estate questions to 612-234-7585. 2 best questions during the show. You're going to win a pair of Timberwolves tickets on us. And we'll keep the text line open throughout the show. Again, text line is open. Text us your real estate questions to 612-234-7585. That is the text line. We've got market stats to go over. We've got hot listings. Mike's got a fantastic video to show us, which is really good. Explains supply and demand, real estate market over the last today and going back, was it 30 years, 33 years?
33. Certainly an interesting theory on it anyway.
It is. I like stats. So let's do hot listings. Let's get those rolling. All right, folks. First,
Why you got to do this? I got everything pulled up on the other thing. And then you're like,
let's do it.
let's do the
Go,
other
go, go,
one.
go, go.
Just keeping you on your feet, Evan. That's what we like to do here. Keeping you engaged.
God, look at all those beards. I just realized that we've got all beards going on here.
Yeah, kind of.
This is pretty good stuff.
Why is mine so light?
Well, you just started growing it yesterday. You got to give
Or
yourself
maybe
a
it's
couple
because it's
days.
mainly gray. Let's just call a spade here, right?
All right, our first smoking hot listing is in St. Paul, located at 1647 Ames Avenue. It is on the market for $319,000. We've got remodeled. It's been refinished on the inside. Fantastic property, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, just under 1,800 square feet. Extra large lot. And this home is a fantastic home, again, on the market for $319,000. Some wonderful upgrades throughout. Our next smoking hot listing we've got in Newport, located at 1788 Hastings Avenue. Newly priced, smoking price at $239,900, $239,900, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2-car garage, just under 1,700 square feet. We've got remodeled throughout, newer kitchen cabinets, countertops, appliances, bathrooms, paint and flooring look great, and this is a wonderful single-family home for $239,900. Great price on that property. Next is a wonderful executive custom 2-story in Shakopee, Minnesota, located at 2148 Kelly Circle. Newly priced at $1.145 million. This is a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, 7,019 square foot home. It is a again custom 2-story walkout. It has tremendous features and space throughout. Really wonderful executive home in Shakopee. And this home is ready to go. Next smoking hot listing is in Minnetonka. This is an incredible remodel. Fully renovated home. It is located at 4627 Ellerdale Road. This home is a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom. It's priced at $975,000. And it's on an incredible lot. Wonderful, wonderful neighborhood. And it's just completely gutted and all redone. Beautiful home, beautiful
inside
finishings.
of this thing is amazing.
Yeah, they did a really excellent job. Kitchen is all excellent. Love the floor plan. It's open, and it's in a really nice established neighborhood. So this home's ready to go. On the market for $975,000. We've got a business and commercial real estate opportunity. The Hive Bakehouse, this is in Aurora, Minnesota for $590,000, located at 103 Main Street North in Aurora. This includes the business and the real estate, and this property is also newly priced at $590,000. It's a really cool area. If you haven't been up to the Aurora area, Giants Ridge is up there. Biwabik, Minnesota. They've got wonderful trails, skiing, snowboarding. Fantastic northern Minnesota property. Our next smoking hot listing is we've got a lakeshore. Folks, you're looking for some lakeshore. This property is 1.5 acres. It sits on Upper Mission Lake, which is connected to Lower Mission. Wonderful opportunity to build your second home or your dream home on the lake in northern Minnesota. This property is in the market for $139,000. Fantastic opportunity.
You're telling me Upper Mission is connected to Lower Mission Lake?
It is. They're not always connected, Mike.
Is it because the elevation, the one is higher than the other? Is that why upper and lower?
So that's a great question. So upper and lower has to do with how the water flows. So like Prior Lake, for example, the southern part of Prior Lake is actually Upper Prior Lake, where Lower Prior Lake is the northern part of the lake. So it's confusing.
There's no up and down in relative terms spatially.
Correct.
So, yeah.
That's how the water flows, baby. There you go.
Okay. I like it.
Next smoking hot listing of the week is in Prior Lake. This is located at 20755 Addison Drive, 2.5 acre property with lakeshore on Fish Lakes. You have not only your acreage, but you have lakeshore. Wonderful 4-bedroom, 4-bath home, 4,000 square feet, on the market for $775,000. Great opportunity to own lakeshore and 2.5 acres.
2.5 acres.
It's a great,
right on the lake.
Great property.
It's amazing.
Fish Lake is just south of Prior Lake, and it's in the city of Prior Lake. To be built by Pebble Creek Custom Homes on Sumner Avenue in Savage. Priced at $999,500, just under $1 million. This is a to-be-built custom home. Opportunity to make changes, pick out your selections, colors, everything is still available. And this is built by Pebble Creek Custom Homes, 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 3,000 square feet. Our next smoking hot listing is in Prior Lake, another to be built by Pebble Creek Custom Homes on Sims Court. This is priced at $995,000, custom 2-story. This home has, let's see what we've got for square feet. There we go. 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, 2,830 square feet. This sits on a cul-de-sac lot in the Cardinal Overlook development, only 9 lots available. And they're all walkout, surrounded by 12 acres. Really cool development. Right across the street from the Twin Oaks and Hidden Oaks Middle Schools. Next smoking hot listing of the week is a to-be-built in Lake Elmo, located at 11610 58th Court North, 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom. This home is on the market for $1.4 million, 5,055 square feet. This home is currently under construction. There's an opportunity to select some of the finishings, and we expect this home will be done late spring, early summer. So great opportunity to live in Lake Elmo.
We got one more.
One more. All right. Our final smoking out listing of the week is this is Fong on the team. He sent over a new listing, 9141 Alamo Street, Northeast in Blaine. 3-car garage, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,832 square feet. On the market for $395,000. There is open house today. Is there an open house today? Nope, that's just schedule a showing button. I don't think there's an open house. But if you want to do a private showing, give Fong a call, and he'll get you into this property. A fantastic opportunity in Blaine, Minnesota.
That's all of them.
Folks, to check out more information on these listings, or if you'd like to search the MLS, go to our website, minnesotahometalk.com. Click on the property search button. We also have all of our fantastic partners, RE/MAX Advantage Plus, Illuminate Home Loans, Pebble Creek Custom Homes, Bella Remodeling Roofing, Todd Rooker, Paragon. We've got Insurance Evan in the studio every single week. Not only is he our producer, but he is our insurance guru. Last Switch, Nepsis, Credit Life, Trademark Title, Urban Landworks Home Inspections, Spare Key, Sync Home Services. This is our home warranty company, EKJ Appraisals, Trend Home Staging, Sioux Falls Real Estate with Marcus Walgrave, Chestnut Cambrone, Rock, Pain Free Patriots, Trust Vets, Riverland Bank, Keppers Plumbing, Home Media Innovations, rental management guys, and Lift Up. Folks, be sure to check out our website, minnesotahometalk.com. We also have a free market analysis on your home or investment property, commercial real estate, or land. Free market analysis. This is not a computer-generated value, but one of the professional real estate agents on my team will help you out with this. We can either come out and meet with you for 15, 20 minutes, or we can just do it over the phone.
Live human.
Live human. Not a bot.
You don't have a bot that goes out?
We do not have a bot. I mean, I think that there's value in some of the bots, but when you're talking about your home's value, those automated home values, they're pulling data from tax records, from MLS, and it's computer generated. Sometimes they're accurate, sometimes they're close, sometimes they're way off. So
perfect example. I had a bot do an analysis on my old house. Mm-hmm. So we lived on just a real small lake in Burnsville called Keller Lake, right? 4-bedroom, 4-bath home, 4,000 square feet. It was telling me that my house was worth about $2 million at one point. Well, it was pulling comps from bigger lakes, right? Crystal Lake, Marion, Prior Lake. So, which was completely off. It definitely was not even close to having that, but that's what it was saying it was worth, which was about at that time probably about 4 times as much as my house is actually worth. So obviously it was not accurate, but those systems just can't distinguish between okay, this is a smaller lake, whatever, blah blah blah, and if you're on that lake, it's a completely different story. It can't do that.
No, it can't do that. In this example, the lake that you used to live on was what they call a non-recreational lake. So you could take your canoe out there, your paddle boat. You couldn't be on the lake with any type of motor. And we also found out that includes winter months.
Yes.
So, folks, on non-recreational lakes, you are not allowed to pull tubes behind your four-wheeler in the winter.
Yes.
So
the local police were kind enough to stop by and make a personal visit.
It was one of the very nice neighbors that let the police know to let us know that was not allowed.
Right. But it goes to show. Let's take that a step further. So what happens if you bought a house with an unfinished basement and you recently finished the basement, and then you come and do that? Well, the bot can't distinguish or tell that you've finished your basement, and you can't tell it that you finished your basement. It's going to be it's going to be way off, right? So those are the types of things, or if you've done any sort of remodeling or anything like that, it's not going to be able to detect that. And it's just not going to give you an accurate value. And
even more so, depending on how the algorithm is written, if they're pulling total square footage and they're counting it the same as above ground square footage. So say, for example, you've got a house that has 4,000 square feet above ground finished, and then with an unfinished basement. And then you have another house that has a total of 4,000 square feet. So maybe you're 2,800 above ground and 1,200 below. They're looking at square footage is the same, but the home that has the above ground square footage of 4,000 is worth quite a bit more because it's a much bigger house.
Right.
So you just have to dive deeper. I think that there's value in them just to maybe get a snapshot idea on what homes in the neighborhood are selling for or what it could be. But if you'd like a free market analysis, we'll do that for you, and it's pretty quick. We get them done quick for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we run into that all the time when people call me for insurance and they go, but Zillow only said it would be like $1,000 a month. And I go,
insurance estimates?
Yeah, and it's like, but Zillow doesn't know that you need replacement cost on your roof and you need water backup and so on. Like they're giving it's only this many square feet and we are giving you the average nationally and all this stuff. And it's like, no. Sorry. Anyway, we did have a text question come in. This one's for you, Mike. Andy asks, what percentage of my monthly mortgage payment should be going to equity, and what is generally considered a good percentage going to equity?
Well, that's a great question. Depends on where you're at in your loan.
Yep.
So I literally had this conversation yesterday with someone too. Wanted to look at it's called an amortization schedule, right? Mm-hmm. Shows you when you make payment number 1 on your loan, this is how much goes towards principal, this is how much towards interest, and this is what your principal balance is after that payment is applied. It literally shows all entire 30 years if you do a 30-year fixed. In this particular case, the payment was $2,067 a month. Mm-hmm. 1,700 and some change was going towards interest on the first payment, and only roughly 300 was going towards principal. Mm-hmm. Now that's the very first payment. eventually that will switch and you'll be paying off more principal and interest. But, you got to get 20 years down the road, then all of a sudden it switched, and then now it's like, okay, well, now, $1,400 of that payment is going towards principal and 600 and some bucks is going towards interest. The very last payment, it's all principal, and there was only like $10 worth of interest you pay.
Right.
So the answer to that question is, well, where are you at? Are you in year 1, 2, 3, or are you year 15, 16, 17? Or are you in year 25 of your loan?
Right.
So
that's a really, really good question. And so, Mike, I know that you have clients that come in, for example, let's say they're 15 years into their loan, and they've got maybe they've got an adjustable mortgage, and so it's been pretty good for the last 4 or 5 years, but it's looking like it's gonna be higher at some point. So the question is do you, let's say for example your rate's at 6%, and you have an opportunity maybe in the spring to refinance at 5%. Well, what does that mean to refinance, right? If you're 15, 20 years into the loan and now more of your payment is going towards principal, what does that look like? I mean, it's probably better to just stay with the higher interest rate because you're at the latter part of the loan, and then refinance to a lower one and start it all over.
In that case, yeah. I mean, I don't even have to run the numbers. I could say, look, as long as that interest rate hovers around the same and it's not projected where adjustable rates are projected to do one of these and goes up, you don't refinance. You don't refinance on there. The only time you'd refinance on something like that is if you refinance to, let's say you're 15 years into that loan, refinance onto a 10 or 15-year fixed.
Okay.
Because that table then starts off because you only have 15 years to pay that loan off.
Yep.
So you're paying more towards principal, quite a bit more towards principal than a 30-year in those first few years. So, but if the thing was like, hey, I'll either want to refinance onto a 30-year to keep that payment lower or keep my current loan, don't even have to run the numbers on it. You would keep that loan because you're 15 years into it, and you got way more going towards principal with each payment at that point.
Yeah,
right. And this stuff varies a little bit, loan to loan and so on. But I'm looking at you can pull up an amortization calculator online, and it'll give you a ballpark figure. In the first 10 years, you're going to be paying off roughly of the principal balance, roughly about 20% in that first 10 years.
Yeah.
And which means that the last 80% is in the last 20 years.
Yep.
So the bank is getting the better end of the deal up front.
Yes.
And it really does kind of invert at the very end where, that initial payment might be only $300 going to principal, and the last payment is only $300 is going to interest.
Right.
So,
right.
Yep.
And it is designed that way.
Yep.
It is. Absolutely. And every loan is like that.
Yep.
There's no like, hey, can I get a loan where it's just even along the way?
Right. Nope.
Nope.
Doesn't work that way. Folks, we got the text lines open if you'd like to go to Timberwolves game. We're giving away 2 pair of tickets this morning for the 2 best real estate questions. Text lines are open at 612-234-7585. Text lines are open at 612-234-7585. Text us your real estate questions, anything and everything real estate related. 2 best questions are going to win a pair of Timberwolves tickets on us. Text line is open. Text us your real estate questions to 612-234-7585. That's 612-234-7585. All right, you want to do your video or do you, let's do that. Or you want to do market stats? We'll do video and then market stats.
Okay, we'll do video first and we'll do market stats. Okay. So I'm going to set the video up a little bit. So we've been talking recently about how if you look at the next 3 months is going to be the best time to buy a house, looking back 12 months, looking forward 12 months, right? That 24-month period, the best time to buy a house is going to be in the next 3 months. Mm-hmm. Reasons being is that demand is down a little bit right now, and a lot of that is interest rate. Some of that is time of the year, too. We always see it this time of the year. Less people want to buy around this time of the year just because you got holidays, you got all this stuff going on, and it's cold and it's winter, and some people don't want to move in the winter. Makes sense to us. We always see it. There's a seasonal decrease or slowdown in the market. Mm-hmm. When the spring comes, it's going to be gangbusters again. And that's because there's going to be a huge stockpile of demand that's going to come in, right? And especially if rates hit anywhere in the 5s, we're going to have a crazy spring just like we had last spring where you're going to have to offer over list price. You're probably going to have to make an offer where you don't ask for a home inspection, things like that. So that's why the next 3 months, you're going to get the best terms on the actual price and the other terms of the house. when rates do go down in the future, you simply refinance down to the lower rate.
Yep.
Okay. So this video is going to talk about the supply and demand, and basically it's going to confirm everything we've been saying here for the last however many months.
Yep.
Have home prices drop that caused the recession. Folks, it's very important to know what happened here because this was caused like all price discovery is caused by supply and demand. Yes, it was crazy. Pay option, interest only, no income, no asset, no job, no investment property, 585, zero down, craziness. You know that we have nothing like that today. So that's the first thing. But at its core, it's a supply and demand issue. So in housing, how do we measure supply and demand? Well, supply is easy. Builders completing homes. That's your supply. That's your new supply coming on the market. Demand is household formation. Okay, what's a household formation? Explain it. Take a family. Mom, dad, and a child. They live in one dwelling, one unit, one place. The three of them live together, and on average, when that young person, the child reaches age 33, they get their own place, form a household. It's the same three people, the same family, mom, dad, and child, but now they're occupying two residences instead of one. It's a household formation. Let's look at household formations in blue, and household completions inventory supply in gold. So your demand is blue, your gold is supply. It was pretty close. And you know it's okay for supply to be a little bit more than demand because every year, because of aging, you have about 100,000 homes that get retired, rebuilt, newly constructed, rebuilt. But what the heck happened in 2006? Coincidence, that's when problems started, right? Look what happened in 2007, 2008. Much more supply than demand. It looked like demand dropped off a cliff. Could that happen again? Well, let's analyze this and see why. By the way, builders built more homes back in 2006 than ever in history. Look at today, not even close to that, okay? So what the hell went wrong here? Well, if we know that these are people predominantly around the median age of 33 that typically went and got their own place, maybe we can gain some clues if we took a look at 33 years earlier when they were born. Were there fewer births? Were there a lot fewer births? Maybe. So 33 years before 2006 is 1973. Let's look at birth rates. Oh my gosh, birth rates dropped dramatically. In fact, look at this. Big step down, one more step, stays flat and goes up. Let's see 33 years later. Big step down, another step, stays flat, goes up. Goodness gracious, it's a hand in glove. 33 years earlier versus 33 years later. Isn't that crazy? 33 years earlier, the births versus 33 years later, the household completions. Here's where the people that are coming of age today were born. You got this wave coming at you. This is your future demand. But what the heck happened here? Why did it fall off a cliff? There's a reason. In 1973, 33 years before 2006, right here, abortions were legalized. Now, please, I am not pro, against, nothing. I'm just giving you a statistic, okay? I am not being political or offering an opinion. I'm just saying why birth rates dropped. So when you take a look, this is what caused the housing bubble. But this is what's caused the housing boom. Too much demand, not enough supply. It's that simple, folks. Now, going forward, where are these buyers? They're there, but they're lurking. They're waiting because it's 7% mortgage rate time. But that demand is being pent up. It's showing itself in rents that are going up like crazy. When rates come back down, you will unleash in a low inventory environment the force of more demand than supply, and you will be in a rising home price situation once again. Let's hope it's not that crazy, but prices will rise. So let's look at household demand. Formations historically in that 1.5 to 2 million range. Let's call it 1.7 or so.
It's a great video, great explanation. I love it. I love stats, right? I love it when we take a look at historical data, whether it's home prices, interest rates, We talk often about the crash in 2008 and why that happened, why that's not going to happen now. And this was a really good explanation of what's happened and what's going on, and using the data to look at it.
Right. I mean, average age of a home buyer is 33 years old. You saw that chart he pulled up. Let's look at birth rates 33 years ago, right? So over the next 3 to 4 years, birth rates did one of these, which means that our demand on the buyer side of things is going to do one of these. Yep. Well, if our supply stays flat, right? So if we look at our supply of homes,
let's take a look at that.
Supply of homes over the last 10 years, I mean, we've been anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 homes, really, for the last about 8 years.
Yep.
I don't see that going anywhere else. I see that staying in that range.
Yep.
I don't see us hitting 15,000 homes in the metro area.
Right.
I don't see us hitting 18,000 homes. We can't build them fast enough. And if you look at 2020 and 2021, look at all the builders. They all had record sales, but they all had record low closings because of supply chain and labor.
Right.
They couldn't build them fast enough, and they actually got slower versus speeding up because of COVID.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't build them.
Right. So now we're coming out of that. We're not going to have more inventory for people to look at, but we're going to have all these additional buyers that are lurking, as he said, lurking there. They're waiting. Soon as rates hit a certain point, I mean, the floodgates are going to open, and it's going to be, pack a piranha on every single house again.
Yeah, it's going to be, and that again goes back to us talking about why now is such a great time to buy. Buy now. Don't get on the multiple offers and the frenzy. We're going to go over market stats right now in the Twin Cities. But folks, if you've got questions, we're giving away 2 pair of tickets to the Timberwolves for the 2 best real estate questions, anything and everything real estate related. Text us your real estate questions to 612-234-7585. That is the text line. Text us your real estate questions to 612-234-7585 to win Timberwolves tickets on us. The 2 best questions are going to win. All right, market updates, the stats for the Twin Cities metro area. Inventory of homes for sale, 8,858, which is better than it was this summer. Late summer, I think we were at 4,800. I mean, there was a weekend where it was below 5,000.
Yeah.
It was, now, comparatively, if you look back to 08, 09, 43,000 homes for sale.
43,000.
43,000 compared to our, call it 9,000. So
if we go back to then, if the video, he said, if you looked at that was the year, 2006 was the year that it was the most ever in history of homes being built, new homes being built and finished, ready to move in.
Yep.
It was also the year where the demand was almost at its lowest point in history. And it goes back 33 years ago. Abortion was legalized. There was less births going on, so there was less people entering in that home buyer age at that point. So the most supply we've ever had, and then obviously the lowest demand we've ever had. That was 2006. And
then which went right into the mortgage crash.
Right.
After that. So, all right. So market updates, Twin Cities, currently inventory of homes for sale, 8,858. A year ago, we had 8,214. That's up 8%. Pending home sales in the last 3 months. Now, this one is interesting. 12,103. So pending home sales in the last 3 months, 12,103. A year ago at this time, 17,630. So that's down 31%. Pending home sales in the last 3 months is down 31% from this time last year. Median sale price, however, 362,100 to 362,100. A year ago, 340,700. So the median sale price is still gone up 6.3%. Affordability index is 101. A year ago, we are at 144. So that means home affordability is down about 30%. Homes per buyer, 1.9. A year ago, 1.6. So that's up 19%. Average days on market is 32, where a year ago we were at 23. So that's up 39%. Homes are selling for 98.9% of list price. A year ago, we were at 101.2, so that's a change of about 2.3%. So great stats. I mean, it gives us, what's fascinating is that the median sale price is still up 6.3%. Even though pending home sales are down 31%, it's because the inventory is so low.
Right.
We have such low inventory. If you're a buyer out there, boy, let's get going. Let's get into the market now. Let's buy something in November, December, January. Parade of Home starts in February. And it's I agree with you, Mike. I think next spring spring starts in February in Minnesota.
It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it. But the real estate market starts in February. And so, why put yourself in a position where you're going to be in multiple offers and you got to overpay by 10%? And when you have some more choices now, rates are higher. Yes, just about everyone believes they're going to be lower. So you refinance next year.
So look at the percent of list price received. Last year was what, 101%?
101.2. Yep.
101.2%. Now the percentage of list price received is
98.9.
So you can buy a house under list price right now.
Right.
You couldn't last year.
No.
And what's the other thing you can do this year? Or at least right now?
Well, you can have a home inspection.
You can get a home inspection done.
If things come up on the home inspection, you can ask the seller to make repairs. You can ask for closing costs. You can, there's some, most of the builders out there right now are offering some incredible incentives for new construction.
Yeah.
Where they're buying the rates down. There's a builder out there in the South Metro that's offering 5.5% fixed 30-year rates on all their inventory homes.
Right.
It's a great opportunity.
Right.
Great opportunity. So there's opportunity for buyers. Yes, rates are higher, but you can always refinance and you're not going to have to overpay.
The only thing that's worse right now for buyers, interest rates.
Correct.
If you look back in the spring, let's look back at March 1st of this year and compare that to November 1st of this year. March 1st, you were still offering way over list price in order to get the house.
Yep.
You were not able to get a home inspection. If you made an offer asking, say, hey, this is contingent upon a home inspection, they just went with one of the other 20 offers that came in on the house.
Yep.
Right? So then it's like, well, I got to waive my home inspection contingency because that's the only way I can compete with these other offers. You definitely were not getting the seller to pay any closing costs.
No.
And if there were any repairs that you wanted, you don't dare ask the seller to do that because, again, they're going to say no or they're going to go with a different offer. Mm-hmm. Right? The only thing that's better back then is that in March 1st, rates were sitting at around 4.5% at that point.
Yep.
Now look at it. You can offer under list price. You can more than likely get the seller to pay some or all of your closing costs. You can get a home inspection done. Literally the only thing that's worse right now for a buyer's interest rates, but guess what? You can change that.
Yep.
You can't go back and change the price you paid for the house and all this other stuff, but you can change your interest rates. When interest rates come down, you can refinance.
Yep.
And get a lower rate.
What are rates at right now?
You know what? So it's a great question. So yesterday I priced out a couple different scenarios. So I'm working with a client, good credit, 5% down. Mm-hmm. Their income is underneath $94,450 for the year. Puts them into category where there's a special conventional loan program that gives them slightly reduced interest rates and slightly reduced mortgage insurance premiums because of that.
Okay.
They were at 6% flat with no points.
Really?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
Right. Another one I priced out like a 718 credit score, the regular conventional deal. Again, this was a 5% down deal. They made too much income. They're over the 94,450 mark, so they didn't get the breaks and stuff like that. They were at 6.375 with no points.
Wow.
So, which means, take that first example. If you're at 6% with no points, if you pay 1 point, you're down at 5.75 for a 30-year fixed.
Which is a good rate, folks. Anything in the fives is a good rate. It's a great rate.
And you can get the seller to pay for that.
Yes.
You can get the seller to pay for that. So now you're getting the seller to pay for your rate buy down. You're at 5.75 on a 30-year fixed.
Well, and so there was an example that I saw this past week, and it was on a $450,000 property. And it compared, and we went over one of these scenarios a couple weeks ago, but it compared buying in the spring, having to overpay, no inspection, all the different things. And it talked about what you end up paying, which is a lot more than list price. And that was a 4.5% rate. And then you looked at today, and in this example, they were comparing a 6.5% interest rate. Well, now you have all these different incentives that you're paying less. You can ask for closing costs. Well, the overall payment in those two scenarios is like $200. $200 difference, but you were not overpaying by $50,000. You're actually getting a break on the price. Right. And now rates are at potentially 6%, or if you have the seller buy down the rate 5.75.
Right.
That's a good rate.
Right.
There is it, and that was so wonderful to see because it certainly is. When the rates were hard sevens, 7.25, I mean, that's tough. That doesn't feel great. But now you're low sixes and buy it down to a high five. It's awesome.
And it's especially tough when you have everything else around it going up too,
Yes.
right? It was the shock of, okay, so not only are interest rates going up, but gas is super expensive.
Food.
Your grocery bill is
Yep.
25% more than it was just a few months ago, just because of prices going up. It's the whole thing. Everything in your life got more expensive. That was the difficult part. Now we've seen that pull back a little bit. Gas is coming down a little bit. Interest rates are coming down a little bit. All revolves around inflation. The more inflation tames, right, and starts coming down a little bit, all this stuff gets a little bit cheaper. And the doors open wide up. I think we're seeing the beginning of that right now.
Yep.
Hopefully that will carry through here. I'm guessing by the spring, I think, again, as long as inflation numbers and reports come out good, I think by the spring, I think we're sitting at mid-fives with no points.
Yep.
And if that happens, look out. It's going to be another crazy spring.
Well, yeah, because then you can buy down the rate. You want to get into the fours, there's an opportunity to buy that rate down, high fours or whatever the case is. So, look, folks, there's opportunity. There's more opportunity, I think, right now than there will be in the spring because there's going to be more buyers. I mean, the video that you showed just looks, you look at the demand that's coming. You got all, and we know because we see it. We've got all these buyers that have been kind of sitting on the fence for the last 4 months or 5 months. And they're getting anxious. I mean, a lot of them are not in the place where they want to live necessarily, and it's gonna be busy.
Yeah, I just look at our pre-approved buyers that we have now. How many we have?
Yep.
We got a ton of them. They're just sitting there.
Yep.
They're sitting there waiting for one of two things. Either the right house has to come up, right? So the higher interest rates are, the more picky you get because it's like, it's going to have to take that little bit of extra for me to make that move, right?
Yep.
So they're waiting for one of two things. That right house that comes up in the right spot, in the right neighborhood, right school district, whatever, it checks all the boxes. Or rates to come down to say, okay, I don't need all those boxes checked. It's a little bit more affordable now.
Yep.
Now I'll make the move because interest rates are a little bit lower.
Yeah.
They're waiting there.
So you guys have some pretty good. Do you have HELOC products or second home, second loan products? Talk about those.
Yeah, so we got second mortgage products there, and so I'm doing a couple now because what happened was, if we look earlier this year, jumbo mortgage rates were a full % lower than standard conventional.
How about right now?
Right now, that's been pinched.
Yep.
Right now, you're maybe 1/4 to 1/2% difference.
Better
On a jumbo. That's
jumbo,
it.
okay. Yep.
Right? So it was a full %. Now it's only 1/4, maybe 1/2.
Yep.
Right? And so what a lot of people are doing is they're saying, okay, well, that difference isn't that great. What happens if we do a first and a second mortgage instead of one jumbo loan?
Yep.
Right? So in certain cases, that's the better way to go. And so your second mortgage products, I mean, you're looking at, they're typically a 20-year term.
Yep.
Is the longest you can get on there. So it's a little bit shorter term versus a 30-year. But on a 5-1 ARM, where your rate is fixed for the first 5 years and goes adjustable for the remaining 15, you're sitting in the low fives in most cases for that 5-1 ARM.
Yeah.
So if you do your bulk of your loan, your 30-year fixed, the $647,200, at let's say you're at 6 1/4 to 6 1/2 right now.
Yep.
And then you do the rest of the loan amount that you want to borrow on a second, that's at 5 1/4.
Yep.
Right? Now you just work on, now you really don't even work on paying that 5 1/4 off quicker.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now you can put more of your money towards that first mortgage and knock that down. What's going to happen is once we get down into a rate environment where 30-year fixed rates are at 5 and 5 1/2 again, you're probably going to roll them both into one.
Yep.
And refinance, and boom.
Well, and I think it also gives you an opportunity if you're selling your house and you've got a nice chunk of equity that you're going to roll into the next one, and maybe you find the house in the perfect location, and the house has it's got a lot of the features you're looking for, checks a lot of the boxes, but maybe not all of them. Well, now you have an opportunity to get into the house. You put your money down, get the lowest rate that you can, and then you do a home equity line of credit in the spring, and then maybe do some home renovations or make some changes to the house so that it does check the majority of the boxes. You can get creative when you've got different loan products out there.
Right.
So, folks, we got the text lines open if you'd like to win a pair of tickets to the Timberwolves on us. Giving away 2 pair this morning for the 2 best real estate questions, anything and everything real estate related. Whether you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, You have questions about land, commercial property, financing, refinancing, home improvement. Do you have questions for insurance, Evan, this morning? Or flooded basement, Evan, this morning? Any of those questions, we encourage the text. Text us your questions to 612-234-7585. The text line, folks, to win Timberwolves tickets is 612-234-7585.
Hey, we've got a text question. We've had one for a while now.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
I've been giving you the look. Joe wants to know, basically, no one can predict the future, but when do you guys think that rates will be brought back down to earth, to an affordable level? When do you see that actually happening?
So I think that they're nearly there right now. I mean, if you can get a 6% 30-year fix with certain conditions and you can buy it down to 5.75, I think anything in the fives is a really good rate. I don't think we're going to see stuff in the fours again unless you buy it down. So I think if you're in the fives, you're a really good rate, and I think you should jump on it.
I think at some point we'll see them in the fours.
Think so?
I think let's take a look at our careers, right? Mm-hmm. So you're older than I am, so I get to pick on you.
85 years I've been doing this.
Right. So how many more years we got left in our working career?
At least 100.
At least 100.
Yeah.
So for 100 years from now, I'm thinking in our careers, right? If we're talking in our careers here, I think we'll see a 30-year fixed rate that starts with a 4 at some point.
Nice.
I don't think we're ever going to see one that starts with a 3 again, though.
Yep.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yep.
Never say never, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think that we will eventually see rates that start with a 4.
Yep.
Now, I think a bulk of the time here moving forward, if we look at the next 12 to 24 months, I think a bulk of the time there's probably going to be somewhere in the 5s.
Okay.
With no points, right?
Yep.
You can always buy it down, whatever, blah, 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 that whole deal. So when do I think rates are going to actually go down to where you get into the 5s with no discount points? And that's kind of your, that's your standard rate when someone asks, hey, what are rates today?
5.5.
Yeah, it's 5 and whatever.
Yep.
I think that's as early as this spring. Again, it's all about inflation, though.
Right.
You got to watch inflation. As long as inflation, we get good inflation reports saying that it's coming down, things like that, we're going to get there.
Yep.
If inflation reverses where it's like, ooh, we had a nice little break there where inflation looked like it was on its way down, but now something happened and it's on its way back up, that's when we're going to see rates are going to, anytime you have financial instability where people can't really predict the future,
right?
It's a lot easier for rates to go up than down, right? So that uncertainty will always make it easier for rates to go up versus down. But if we can pile, the whole reason why we have rates where they're at now is because the last CPI report that came in lower than what is expected. Yep. That's what drove rates down. If the next one comes out, and that's also either what was expected or lower, rates are going to go down again. So as long as we can pile those on top of each other here over the next few months, we'll be there. March, we're going to be, I think, in the 5s.
I love it. Great question, folks. If you have real estate questions, you'd like to win a pair of Timberwolves tickets, text us your real estate questions, real estate mortgage, insurance, home improvement. The text lines are open at 612-234-7585. That is our text line to win Timberwolves tickets. We're giving away 2 pair this morning for the 2 best real estate questions. Text us your questions to 612-234-7585.
Ashley's got a question for us through Facebook. She says, can you explain the 3-2-1 buy down to our sellers, please? Does that percentage come off of or is based off of the loan amount or the purchase price?
It's a fantastic question.
All right. So the 3-2-1, a lot of questions around this.
Yeah.
Right? The answer is it's different for every situation. Here's how the 3-2-1 works. Okay. So let's say you're just easy. So just for easy numbers, let's say your regular rate is 7%. It's not that high, but I'm just trying to make this easy, right? So let's say your regular rate, quote unquote, regular rate is 7%. On a 3-2-1 buy down, the first year, your rate is 3% lower than your regular rate, right? So now you start at 4% on the first year. Your second year, your rate would be 2% lower than the 7. So now you're at 5%. The third year, it'd be 1% lower. So now you're at 6%. Years 4 through 30, you're at 7%.
Yep.
Okay. So let's look at the cost. So the 3-2-1 buy down, what the seller is doing, the seller is paying for the payment difference between a 7% rate and a 4% rate. So let's say that payment difference on whatever loan amount your buyer is doing, right? So the higher the loan amount that the buyer is doing, the more expensive it is for the seller to pay for that.
Right.
Because they're borrowing more money and the payment difference is going to be greater on a higher loan amount. Okay, so that's why it's just not a blanket answer because you don't know how much that buyer is putting down.
Right.
So as a seller, you got to think in your mind, I'm willing to give up X amount of dollars towards this type of buy down, right? And then the buyer can apply that however they want to. If there's enough there to do a 3-2-1 buy down, great. That's what you do.
Yep.
If there's enough money there to just do a 2-1 buy down, you do that, right? And that's where a good loan officer comes into play to show what those options are. Anyway, so let's say the difference between a 7% and a 4% rate is let's say it's $500 a month. Okay, $500 over 12 months is $6,000. So that very first year costs $6,000 in the 3-2-1 buy down. So now let's say year number 2, the difference between 7% and 5% is $300. So 300 times 12. What's that? $3,600, right? So we got $6,000 for the first year and $3,600 for the second year. Now the difference between 7% and 6%, let's say it's $150. So 150 times 12 is what? What is that? 10, 1, 15, 1,800.
Yeah.
$1,800. So 6,000 plus 36 plus 1,800.
Yep.
96 and 10.6, and you're at what, 11.4?
Yep.
Is something like whatever.
Yep.
Right. So it costs $11,400 for that 3-2-1 buy down. That's what your cost is. So that's what the seller would have to give up. So if the seller's willing to say, hey, yeah, we'll pay this $11,400 for that. They're paying for the entire buy down. Now your buyer can do the 3-2-1. They're good to go.
So here's a question for you, because this is something I think most people don't realize. So in that example, April comes, rates are at 5% flat, and you want to refinance. What happens to all that buy down money you spent?
That's great. So again, it's the 3-2-1 buy down is a payment subsidy. The statement that the buyer gets says your interest rate is 7%. But wait. I thought you said it was going to be 4% for the first year.
Yep.
That's what happens. So your actual interest rate is 7%. That money, that $11,400 that the seller put in there, basically sits in an escrow account over here, and it subsidizes their payment. So your interest rate is 7%.
Yep.
But the seller paid for you to make a 4% payment, right? And so you take, here's your regular payment, here's how much the seller subsidized that payment, here's what your actual payment is for that month.
Yep.
Right? So you have $11,400 sitting over here, and every month a chunk of that comes out to subsidize your payment.
Yep.
So if you refinance, let's say 6 months down the road, and you still got $9,000 sitting over here, well, that $9,000 is up to you. You can use that to pay for closing costs in the refinance. You can use it to reduce your principal balance by $9,000 when you refinance. That money doesn't go away. You can use it.
Yep. That is such a huge point, because most people don't realize that. Most real estate agents and some loan officers don't realize that. But that money isn't just spent in vain, because that would be the hesitation is, well, I believe rates are going to go down. I'm going to plan on refinancing. Do I really want to spend $10,000 on this? Well, yeah, because if you don't use it, then you just get it back and use it to however you want.
Yeah.
And going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's important to note that it isn't actually modifying the terms of the loan, right? So this isn't going to change your buy off amount on your loan or how much equity you're actually paying in, and so like talking about the amortization schedule.
Right.
You're still on that 7% loan. This is a deal between you and the buyer that's subsidizing your payments to the loan company.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. The 3-2-1 buy down is a fantastic product.
It is, as long as you know how it works and can explain it.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. Yep. You got to know how it works. And the answer is different. I mean, if you're doing a $100,000 loan amount, it's not costing $11,400 for the 3-2-1 buy down.
Yeah.
It's costing you maybe $6,000 or $5,000 now because the loan amount is so much smaller.
Right.
So
and vice versa. If we're talking about a $1.5 million house, the buy down is going to be much bigger.
Astronomical, right? That cost is. So there's not a blanket dollar amount that sellers can bank on for that, because a buyer comes to the table. Are they putting, are they going to borrow $200,000 against the house? Are they going to borrow $400,000? Are they going to borrow $600,000? You don't know that typically. So when you're talking to your seller, it's like, hey, seller, how much are you willing to pay towards some sort of buy down or some sort of incentive for this buyer to help them out with that 3-2-1 buy down or a lower interest rate on there? Once we know that dollar amount, then the loan officer can then talk to those buyers to say, hey, here's probably the best way to apply that coming back from the seller.
Yeah, it's good stuff. What are mortgage limits right now? Those change, or they're changing January?
They're going to change.
Yep.
Right now, a lot of companies are thinking it's going to be at least $700,000.
Okay.
So we could do $700,000 conventional loan amount now,
Yeah.
which means that you could buy a house for about $725, put 3% down, your loan amount $700,000.
So crazy.
The actual number will come out sometime, and usually it's like mid-December.
Okay.
They actually put a final stamp on it to say,
Yeah.
okay, this is what we're going to, and it starts on January 1st.
Yep.
Why companies are willing to do it now is because they're fairly certain that it's going to be higher than $700,000.
Got it.
When we deliver these loans to Fannie or Freddie, whoever
Yeah.
on the back end, after January 1st, they're saying, yeah, it's going to be over that. So we'll just go up to $700,000 now. We'll close those now. We'll hold them until Fannie and Freddie actually raise it, and then
Yeah.
we'll deliver the loan to them.
Got it.
Now, where those companies get hurt is that if Fannie and Freddie comes out and says, we're going to do $685.
Yeah. Then what happens?
Well, then we got to keep that loan and service them
Got it.
ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But most companies are at $700,000 right now. They'll
Okay.
close those,
Yep.
meaning that it's probably going to be over $700,000
Right.
because they're going to leave a little cushion there for some wiggle room.
Yep.
So about mid-December, give us a month from now, we'll probably know what that exact dollar amount is going to be.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was 417.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. 10 years maybe.
And of course, this doesn't include the states where there's a big cost of living adjustment, where it's
Correct.
like, oh yeah,
Yep.
you're in Southern California.
Yep.
The
Yep.
limit is 1.2 million or whatever. Yes.
So, I mean, you remember the last time it used to be 548.
Yes.
Yeah.
548, and now it's 647.
Yes.
It went up almost $100,000 in 1 year.
Yeah, that's right.
From 2021 to 2022.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening again. But can I see a 715, a 720, 725? I could see that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Opportunity. Folks, if you'd like to get a hold of us anytime during the week, go to our website, minnesotahometalk.com. It has our real estate hotline number, which is a 24-hour number, 612-234-7585. You can call that number anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 612-234-7585. And then, of course, you can connect with all of our fantastic partners.
Also, we got a bunch of text questions right at the end of the show that we
Okay.
didn't get to, and we're going to get back to you guys. But for now, tune in next week.
Tune in next week, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We appreciate that. Do you have a house that needs a lot of work and you're ready to sell? We work with cash buyers looking to purchase right now. Give us a call or check us out online at minnesotahometalk.com. Folks, that's minnesotahometalk.com. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week.
This has been a paid program. The views expressed were not necessarily those of the management or ownership of KSTP-AM 1500 ESPN. You're listening to 1500 ESPN on KSTP-AM 1500 and 94.5.